What's up, guys? Welcome back to Turf Wars with Chase and Josh. We're on the next part of our series covering the draft classes for each team. We started out the first episode. We did two teams. Last episode we had Mike and Matt on, and we did only did one team. I think we're gonna do one more team this time. Do the NFC East, and
Division.
then and one more division. So I said teams. Yeah, one division,
Yeah.
and so this might be a shorter episode, but when we get into the next one, we might do two again. So, um, I say we jump right into it, man. Um, let's see, let me screen share. All righty. So just like the last couple times, we're gonna be talking about our favorite pick and or biggest steal, our least favorite pick, who competes for a spot, whether immediately or some point in the year. And does this draft, how much better does this draft make the team and overall grade? Um, so we're going to jump right into it with the Cowboys, man. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. So favorite pick or biggest steal for the Cowboys?
Favorite pick was probably Deuce Vaughn. I
Hmm.
think to get him in the sixth round, with Zeke leaving too, there's rumors that Dallas may try to re-sign Zeke, but I'd say let Tony Pollard be the lead dude, and Deuce Vaughn's going to be a great running back too.
Yeah, I agree. Deuce Vaughn was my. I like Mozzie Smith is probably my favorite player for them, just because they needed to fill out that D line. But biggest steal, I wanted the Panthers to go after Deuce Vaughn bad. I know he's tiny, but that man's a good route runner. He can break tackles. He's lightning fast. I mean, he's that's a fun pick, and he's going to be fun to watch with Pollard for sure.
He
But
might he might give you similar value to like um Pacheco. Now, I mean, I don't
yeah,
know if he'll be as good as Pacheco year one, but I mean, he's going to give you value in the sixth round for sure.
well, if you use those smaller guys like that, I mean, he is. Let's see, he's
Yeah.
5'5", right? 5'5", 180
I
pounds.
mean,
He's 180 pounds, so
he's
he's not
your
frail.
Naheem Hines. He's
Yeah,
Naheem Hines.
yeah. I mean, he's
That's what he's gonna do.
some of those smaller guys are, they're quicker. They can get between the blocks. They can run between the line. There's some advantages to being that little, but you know, um, obviously he's not going to be running anybody over. Who knows? He might be, but yeah, I can agree with you. That's definitely
As
my
as
favorite
long
steal.
as long as they don't line him up as center, I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, seriously. But my favorite pick is still probably going to be Mozzie Smith. Um, they, the D line now that I think they said Parsons is going to move to full time edge, which is going to be
Yeah.
cool because that man is just they hit a home run with Parsons. Whether they meant to or not. I don't think they knew he's going to be the pass rusher he is. I don't think he thought he was going to be the pass rusher he is. But he's turned into a full time edge that can kind of play all over the place. Um, but Mozzie Smith, they needed some of that run stopping, man. Their run stopping was I can't even remember what their rank was last year on run defense, and I know it was bottom 10 of the league. Um, but picked up a
They
big
just
body in the
they need a
middle.
big body.
They needed the big
Yeah.
body. ESPN has him as the fifth ranked defensive tackle, pretty good grade. But fills out that D line, which they desperately need. Helps out Micah Parsons a little bit. I don't know how much of a pass rusher Mozzie's going to be, but everyone needs that big. Sometimes I feel like D tackle is one of those positions where it's like you've got to bite the bullet. Sometimes it's a boring position to take. You can find some guys in free agency and undrafted, and you can find big bodies, but like guys that eat blocks and truly make a difference in the run game, you've got to spend those draft picks on. Derek Brown a couple years ago, that was he's turning out. After year one, it was like, okay, it's year one. Let's see. Year two, he did okay, but not top 10 pick, but not top 10 pick talent. And then this last year, he broke out big time. He's gonna. I mean, he's a foundation for the team, and like I said, you got to bite the bullet on those D tackles sometimes, even though it's not the sexiest pick. Um, but what about you? What's your least favorite pick?
Least favorite's got to be Luke Shoemaker.
I'd say
I think,
I would totally
I
agree.
think it was obvious they wanted Kincaid in the first round, didn't get him, so I feel like they kind of reached. I mean, Darnell Washington was still on the board. They could have got him, you know, they could have traded up in the third and got him. I feel like this was just a panic pick almost. Now, I mean, he could turn out to be good. I mean, you never know, but I think there was a lot of tight ends on everyone's board rated higher than Shoemaker.
Yeah, totally agree. I did not see him being
But
uh
I do think tight end was a need. They lost their tight end to the Texans, Dalton
yeah.
Schultz. So I do think they needed tight
What's the
ends,
other
but
kid they have? Um the guy that replaced Schultz when Schultz was hurt for a little while. Uh but
I
it's the
don't know.
guy that replaced Schultz
I
last
mean,
year. His name's leaving my mind, but fan are the couple of fans that I know that are Cowboys fans. They were like, tight end, like, Schultz is not that, he's gone and we got the same numbers from the backup, so Shoemaker could be a difference maker on the offense, but I didn't think he was going to go in the second round. Thought that was a little bit
yeah.
of a reach. ESPN has him ranked as the eighth tight end. Um, I mean, if he starts, it's good value. If you get a starter in this first and second round,
Go to go by rounds, just see, who was
but he
picked
was picked.
after.
Yeah,
He was he
that's
was back into the second.
the second round. So yeah, Laporta went. That was a crazy one to me
Yeah.
too. Laporta going.
He went too high. Before
Went
Mayer is
yeah
insane.
before Mayer. So Laporta,
Yeah.
Mayer, and Kincaid were gone.
And then
Um,
Musgrave went.
Musgrave went. Um,
Yeah.
you know, and then
It was
Shoemaker
that,
at the
but
end of the
dude,
second. Strange
they could
went.
have took Osiris
Yeah, there were some
or
other positions of need that they could have gone. I mean,
even third round. Like,
yeah, let's see
yeah,
who.
I thought it was kind of a reach, but
Well, there's 4 or 5 tight ends picked before him. I guess they freaked out and didn't think they could get one. You had guys like
yeah.
Nathaniel Dell or Tank
But
Dell and Jalen
Tucker
Hyatt
Craft,
and yeah,
Tucker
Tucker Craft
Craft in the
went.
fourth.
Where did Darnell Washington went at the end of the third or no middle of the third? Latu from Bama went. I mean, I guess it's not like a crazy pick, but I didn't think tight end was a huge
Yeah.
need for them. So the second round is just a bit of a reach.
I think on the first two picks they panicked. I think Mozzie Smith will be decent, but like, I mean, that was a panic. Everyone knew, just so the reaction in the draft room, everyone knew they wanted Kincaid and they didn't get him.
Definitely.
So
Well,
then I
let's
think they, had to make a rush decision on Mozzie, and then they tried to justify it by taking Shoemaker in the
which who
second. But
knows? Maybe Shoemaker was, one of their top 30 players or 35, 40 players on the board, And
yeah,
we have
I
no
mean, you
idea
never
what their
know.
draft board looked like. But, just for us, bit of a reach for him there. So does anybody on this compete for a spot? Whether immediately or some point in the season. What do you think?
I think Mozzie Smith definitely does, and I think Deuce Vaughn, maybe not starter, but he's going to get playing time. And it will be interesting to see, if you're the Cowboys, you just got out of a Zeke long term deal. Do they turn around if Pollard has a good year? Do they turn around and give him a long contract?
Yeah.
Or if Deuce Vaughn shows, he can be a serviceable running back, they just roll with him.
Yeah. I think I think Deuce Vaughn can definitely compete for a spot. Um, he's like I said, we both like him a lot. Gosh, I would have loved to have
Yeah.
him on the Panthers. But I think Fahiko. I was like interested in him. Man, they had him real low, but I actually liked him a lot. And like all my mock drafts I was doing with for the Panthers, I didn't think he was going to go fourth round. I thought he would go later, like fifth or sixth. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, with what's his name on Parsons on one side, and then who's the other guy? Their pass rushers they've had for Lawrence. Um,
Yeah.
he's they've got some edges. This guy will get in. I think Fihoko, however you say his name, he's got a good spot to earn some rotational time, and then learn from some pretty good talent. I don't think he'll start immediately, but I think he'll surprise some people. I was mocking him a lot for the Panthers. for edge. But I think Shoemaker, pretty obvious. They're not going to take him that high if he's not going to get some snaps. And then Mozzie for sure is going to start day one. But
I think an underrated position that Dallas needs is a wide receiver.
I was just thinking that, man, they passed. I as much as we're Tar Heels. I'm wearing my Tar Heel shirt again, man. Richards was I did not like him at all. I didn't like the pick. He'll probably slide in the guard, but just in this area where they took Fehoko and Richards and Scott, I'm surprised they didn't go for a receiver. There was a lot of receivers on the board,
After
and
they
then they went
pay
Jalen Brooks.
CD, after they pay CD, are they going to keep Gallup on the roster?
I like Gallup, so
I
I
mean,
think it
I do
depends on
too.
this
I do
year.
too, but
It
it's
depends
like
on this year.
you can
It just
find good wide receivers mid round picks.
yeah. Well,
That's
guys
why
like
I'm kind
Gallup,
of
you're
surprised
just
they
trying to
didn't take
find
him.
that you're trying to find that mid-range production, like because everyone has the number
I
one.
know, but yeah, but if anyone could, anyone can come in and overpay Gallup's what I'm saying. We saw what happened with Christian Kirk last year, and he proved to be, really good for the Jags. But Arizona wasn't going to match that contract,
Yeah.
not with
We'll
D
see
Hop there, and that's all I'm saying is
if he
I would have
if
liked to have seen Dallas take a receiver in the third or fourth,
yeah.
kind of compete, and then just to free up some money. But
So if Gallup's number two this year, right?
yeah,
Is it so? It's CD Gallup. Um, who wears number one for them? Um, that
I
guy
don't have a clue.
that
But
guy that was like their number 3, 4. Well, their receiver core struggling. Gallup has to make a step this year. Um, which I liked him before he had that bad injury a couple years ago. He was exciting, and if he ends up having a a 900 yard with 5 or 6 touchdown season, someone's going to come in and pay him. So you're totally
yeah,
right
but
on
what I'm
that. So
saying
what
is,
are they going to do?
If you're Dallas and he does that, are you going to give him 15 a year?
Might hands might be
I'm not.
tied.
I'm not. I
I
gotta
wouldn't
pay
either. I wouldn't give him
CD.
15. No,
You're paying
I'd pay.
Dak. You're paying Dak 45 a year.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to pay Parsons.
that's
You're
why I'm
gonna have
shocked
to
they
pay
didn't go
Diggs.
receiver, man.
I know that's me
I'm
too.
yeah. Well, let's move on to the next one, man. We both hate the Cowboys. Everybody hates the Cowboys, so let's not
Oh,
give
hold
them
on.
any more
What's your
time.
draft grade?
Oh,
What's your
forgot about the
draft grade?
draft grade. Um, so I skipped that. My fault, dude. Overall draft grade. I feel like I've given a lot of teams this. I'll probably give it a. I'm gonna give it a C, just a plain C. I'm staying in the C's a
And
lot.
I'm gonna give it a C minus. I think really other than Ozzie Smith and Deuce Vaughn, I like Deuce Vaughn the six, but other than that, I really do not love their draft.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
think
love the
if
Mozzie Smith pick either. I think he'll be good, but I didn't love that pick.
I think if they would have gone, you know, I think there was there. I don't know if Shoemaker would have fallen to where they got overshown.
But
Um,
here's what I don't understand. If they wanted Kincaid that bad, why didn't they just take Michael Mayer at 27?
I don't know. I couldn't believe that
I
either.
think Mayer's going to be a great pro in the tight end.
I
Yeah,
think
a
he
great
is
tight
too.
end in the pros. I think
Kincaid has
he's
that. Kincaid has that flash about him. That's why everybody's so obsessed with him. He's got that receiver ability.
he has
Mayer's
yeah, but
all around.
I think Mayer will be more consistent.
I think he
Kincaid's
will.
going to flash.
Yeah,
He's going to
Mayer's
give you
Mayer's a bigger
huge
body.
plays.
He's stronger. He can block.
He's going to
He
block
can.
better.
Yeah. Overall, Mayer I think will impact the game unless Kincaid just turns into this, Cooper Cup,
And
Travis Kelsey, mix up that just gets open all the time. But the odds of that happening are low. I like
yeah,
Mayer too. Mayer was my number one, so I
he's my
agree.
number one for
I
sure.
think if they could have traded back and moved and gotten something and maybe still gotten Shoemaker, in the third, that probably would have bumped me up closer to a B minus. But um, yeah, I think we're both on the same page here.
I'm gonna go.
So,
I'm gonna go C minus, but yeah,
all righty, let's
good
go to
love it.
the
Nothing crazy.
nothing crazy at all. So let's move on to who am I missing? Giants. So this is actually one I like a lot. I
It's
was
one of my favorite drafts.
it all kind of depends on your Deontay Banks, what you think about him because there were, that the first round, the corners, some of the corners went, but
Yeah,
it it that really kind of determines whether you're going to rank this high or not because their round two and round three picks were A pluses. I mean, they it feels like they add receivers every single season. It feels like it's been 4 years in a row that they're just adding to the receiver room, which they got rid of Tony
yeah.
now. So, who
Yeah,
knows where it
when
goes.
as soon as the Chiefs traded for Tony, I told everyone I knew. I said, "You watch, he is going. They're going to win the Super Bowl." It's Giants gave him away for nothing. They gave him
For
away for
nothing. And they
nothing.
spent what was it, a top 15 pick on him? Something like that. They picked him at like 13 or
I think it
14, or was
was.
it
I think it was
18?
like. I thought it was like. I thought it was like in the 20s. I thought it was like late first round.
Well, they
But
didn't make the playoffs or anything that year before. Oh, anyways,
yeah, but
but
I think they had a trade and they had him in the. I think they had
well
two
they
picks there or something, and they had him in the late 20s.
well they spent a first round pick on a guy and then traded him away for like a whatever, for jump change.
Yeah,
So
for nothing. Yeah, and
bad
I
bad.
like Tony a lot.
I did too.
I like Tony a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, I did too. So what's your favorite pick and or biggest steal for the Giants?
Favorite pick is John Michael Schmitz. Just solidify the O line.
Yeah.
I
He
mean,
was
he's a day one starter in the second round.
I agree. He was my favorite center in the draft. Him and all these names are long day, man. All these names are skipping my mind right now. But Schmitz was up there, man. I couldn't believe he fell as far as he did. He's uh he's stepping in day one, impacting that O line. And they now have Evan Neal one side and uh uh Andrew Thomas on the other. You got Schmitz in the middle, and then I think they signed some guards. Or I remember didn't they draft one of the Carolina guards last year who started? Um, wish we could like
I don't
click
know.
on their roster from here, um, and look at like who started and stuff. But um,
Wait.
they maybe I can do that real quick. There was a guy from Carolina, I believe, that they picked, and he started. Is yeah,
They got
Izudu.
Glowinski from the Colts. Oh
Izudu
yeah,
started a lot of games for them last year. But now, you know, let's see. I think Jalen Hyatt competes for us. Well, we'll get back to that.
yeah. They
But
already got John Michael Smith in that starting up
yeah,
for him.
he's already the starting
Yeah,
center.
he's a day one starter in the second
Banks,
round. That's hard to find.
yeah, Banks he's athletic.
I like Bang.
Oh yeah, me too. I didn't think he was going to go in the first, but that's what they wanted. That's what they needed. Um, he's fast. He's a perfect size. He can do it all. He's going to be all over the field. And he'll start immediately. Whether he'll be the number one or number two. He'll probably be one of the outside corners. Um, so so I agree with you though. Favorite pick is probably John Michael Schmitz. But how about your least favorite pick for him?
I mean, if I'm nitpicking, I love their whole draft, but maybe Trey Hawkins.
Yeah,
I don't know much about him, but
tall corner.
I mean, yeah, I
That's
mean,
all it is.
there's nothing I hate about this draft. He's
Yeah,
just,
I'm gonna agree
I
with
don't
you.
know.
Um, there's really not a pick I hate. They even got a running back, which all teams it's crazy because there's not many workhorses nowadays, and now Saquon isn't showing up to the mini camps or whatever. So who knows what's going to happen with that? And they franchise tagged him. Eric Gray's going to be a good running back. Um, you know, Running backs are running backs. Good running backs are hard to find, but you can Saquon is a guy that you can't replace. But you can replace his production. You know what I mean? Same thing with McCaffrey with us. It's like
Yeah,
it's hard to replace that impact of a player, but Chuba Hubbard and Dante Foreman ended up like leading the league in rushing for a period of time at the second half of the year. So it's like, they filled out the room a little bit more. But there really isn't. I probably agree with you, Trey Hawkins, Old Dominion corner. I don't know too much about Riley either. But and they don't even have much analysis on them at all, you know. So,
Yeah.
but I agree with you. So who of these guys, competes for a spot, whether it's day one or some point?
I think your top three got potential to start right away.
Agreed. Totally agree.
All three of them.
Yeah. Banks
If you
Banks
go
is gonna,
only
like
with
I
three
said,
starters,
yeah. Depends on Hyatt, man. If Hyatt can, here's their going back to their depth chart. All he's got a Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell. I mean, Wandale Robinson's still there. He's a fun player. Sterling Shepard, I don't know why he's not listed as one of the top three. I think uh, he has, I think he's better than all three, to be honest. I think Sterling Shepard's been their number one for,
I think he just
maybe
had some
not,
injury problems.
yeah, maybe not listed as their number one or put up, alpha numbers, but he's been the most
You
consistent
look
thing
at their
they've had.
roster though. This is exactly what they needed to do for Daniel Jones.
And they
Get
added
him as
Jamison
many
Crowder.
weapons as they can.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see. I'd almost put Wandale Robinson or Shepard in starting line over Isaiah Hodgins, but I mean Slayton, Campbell. Oh, and then going off this, your backups are Wandale, Sterling Shepard,
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder.
And they added
You know,
Waller, man.
I love what the Giants have done this
I did
offseason.
too. The O line's looking
Being able
solid.
to, and the only thing I don't know about is I don't know if Daniel Jones is worth 40 million, but
Yeah.
what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's
You're kind of
it's
stuck.
your hands are tied. Good thing they
Yeah.
could bring, and I'm glad. I hope they can bring Barkley back. They got Breida as a
But
backup.
the reason I don't hate the paying Daniel Jones as much is last year was his best year of his career, and it
They looked
was
good.
Dayball's first year. It was Dayball's first year as head coach. We saw what Dayball did with Josh Allen, and previously I've been on the record as saying Josh Allen regressed since Dayball left. I think Dayball had a big impact on why Daniel Jones had such a good year. So
And now we're about to see year two. So it's going to be Giants
yeah,
are an interesting team, especially how
they are.
horrible the NFC is. Sad to say that he's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC, but
I think the Cowboys could finish third in their division next year.
yeah, but they got John Michael Schmitz, obviously day one starter. Deontay Banks they already have listed as a starter. And then we think Hyatt could end up being the wide receiver too by the year, by the time the year's over. At least a wide
Yeah,
receiver too. Who knows if he has a great year? I don't see why he couldn't pass all these guys.
he
But
could.
we're also
But
high. We're all
Yeah,
Yeah.
adding Waller
Waller.
could.
That's if he stays healthy. That's fun.
Mhm.
This is an interesting
If
team
he
for
stays
sure.
healthy, he's a top five tight end in the league.
He was top three 2 years ago. It was him.
I
It
know.
was
Yeah,
Kittle, Kelsey, and Waller. So
yeah.
um, let's see. So we're gonna go to does this draft make how much better does this draft make the team? And I'll start off with this one, man. And you walk away with, like I said, we're high on Hyatt, so you know, take it for what it's worth. Gray could end
Did
up
you see
being the
the
what?
video of the Cowboys working out? Did you see
Uh
that?
uh
There's a video on like TikTok and YouTube or whatever. It was Jalen Hyatt worked out with one of the Cowboys receiver coach or whatever, and then the Cowboys receiver coach was like just messing with him. He was like, "You know what you are." He was like, "You're basically just a burner." And Jalen Hyatt looked at him. He said, "That's what you think?" He said, "Watch this." And they did route running, and he just cooked like all
oh
the
no,
corners.
yeah. So
It
we like
was
him a lot.
he
So
shut him up. I was big on Hyatt. I thought he should have easily been a second round pick,
yeah.
but
Well, I'm gonna say how much better does this make the team? I think I don't want to use the word tremendously, but you're walking away with three starters, in our opinion, three starters, and Gray could end up being your running back too and beat out Matt Breida and give you, 500 or 600 rushing yards and a couple touchdowns. I mean, and you got him in the fifth round. I just this draft was
yeah,
really good. This is going to be one of
I
my higher
love the
rated
draft.
draft, higher graded drafts. If they would have gone a different direction than Hyatt, right there, it probably would have changed a lot. If they would have gone,
Hmm.
let's see, going to rounds, they went, let's see, where was Hyatt? Right here, they could have done something crazy and gone, even if they would have went Josh Downs,
I still would have liked that.
If they would have gone something other than receiver, and went
Yeah,
running back there instead, or D tackle, or something like that, it probably would have changed everything.
yeah.
But you know, um, because of the way they did it, man, I think they
What's your grade?
definitely one of the winners. I'm gonna give my grade. I'm gonna give this one an A minus. This is gonna be one of the A's I give out. You're walking away with three.
You've already given how many? You've already given out one or two A's.
Have I given out
I
any
can't
A's?
remember. I think
I
I know
can't
for a
remember
fact
either.
you've given out one. I think you gave one. I'm not sure though.
Well, this is one of the few of whatever I've given out. Um, this is an A minus for sure. It might even be an A just because I consider a running back too a starter. Um, so you're walking away with basically four starters. Who knows, man? Trey Hawkins, tall, fast, lengthy corner. Jordan Riley. Who knows how these guys are going to turn out? Rounds 6 and 7 are kind of long shots, anyways. So, but
Yeah.
top four picks, I'm ecstatic about. What about you?
This the I'm only giving out three A's just because that's how I want to do it. But this was my fourth favorite draft class in the whole
Mm.
draft. So I'm gonna give it a B plus.
Oh,
It is the best B plus there is, but that's only because I'm giving out three A's.
so you
But
got
this
three
was this
classes.
was my
This is
fourth.
only your four, man. This is one of my top three for sure.
Yeah, this is my
Uh,
fourth.
well, the other one, the other one of my other top three are in this division. So,
Yeah, same. That's why I was debating. I was debating, but yeah, we're gonna get to it.
all right. Well, let's move on to the next one. Let's see who pops up next. Go to Philly. There it is.
Really, here they
So
are.
this is did you hear that rumor on Twitter that was like GMs are upset about Howie Roseman getting all the praise? It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Like, draft Nolan Smith, draft Jalen Carter. What are you doing? Like, it's you can't
yeah.
get mad at him for the board falling the way it did. What did they trade? They traded up to where Chicago was at 9. I wonder what they gave up. I wish we could see that pick or like what they traded. Um, but favorite player, biggest steal, Nolan Smith. There's no question about it. Nolan Smith, I thought he was going to go top 15. I was really bang like the Panthers were trying to trade up in the end of the first, but the teams were just asking for too much, and apparently Nolan Smith was. It was him and I believe it was Zay Flowers were the two that they were targeting if they fell, and both of them kind of fell.
Yeah.
But they just said the asking price was too much. And man, if Nolan Smith falling almost to the second round is crazy. Adding Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter to a Super Bowl, Super Bowl runner up team. That's a scary thought, man. Especially one of the best defenses in the league already. So, what's
Yeah.
your favorite pick or biggest steal?
My favorite pick was Jalen Carter. I mean, he's arguably the best player in the class, and you get him at 9.
Yeah,
It's
big time.
tremendous value.
I think it's I
But
think
I love the Nolan Smith pick too. I mean, you
I think
can't go
my
wrong
biggest
there.
steal,
I
Keely,
thought Nolan Smith could have been a top 10 pick.
I thought so too, man.
I
He
thought
ran
like
like a four
Atlanta maybe.
four. Then he run like a 4.4.
Yeah,
And he's the next. You're hoping he's Micah. He is just a higher grade as Jalen Carter. I mean,
yeah.
you're hoping he's just pure athlete. Athlete. Just get to the quarterback.
If he's Micah and Jalen Carter is
Jalen Carter just
Forrest
there's nobody like him.
Buckner,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
like
this
yeah,
these two picks.
home run.
These two picks make a difference in the Super Bowl last year. If they're on the field. I think it's they just upgraded their team tremendously.
I agree.
Then you get an Alabama tackle. Their O line didn't need much help, but you get a tackle from Bama with a lot of game time from the SEC. Can't go wrong
Yeah,
with it
but
no matter what.
if he doesn't have to play this year, that's great.
That's what I
You
mean.
know,
You're just adding
next
that to
year
the
he'll be
depth.
in the starter with a year of
Yeah,
practice
you get a
at
75 grade in the
6'6",
third round.
321.
Yeah, they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
The
You want me to
Sidney
go
Brown.
favorite steal?
I was about to say my favorite steal, man, is Ringo is up there, but I know this doesn't matter because Jalen Hurts, but Tanner McKee in the sixth, over the court, all what is it? How many quarterbacks went, and he was one of the last ones taken? I couldn't believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
he was quarterback 4 and 5 for some people. So technically, grade wise and everything, he's my biggest steal. My favorite steal is Keely Ringo, though. Adding to that
Yeah.
Georgia defense, now they have 5 or 6 guys now from that 2021 and 2022 national championship teams. Um, it's
Keely Ringo is by far my favorite still.
I couldn't
I was
believe
texting
both of
Chase
our
during the
teams passed
draft.
up.
I was texting Chase during the draft, and the Eagles traded up one pick in front of the Colts. And when they did that, I texted Chase. I
You
said
called it.
they just got Ringo.
You
I was
called
so
it, dude.
mad.
Yeah, he was a potential first round pick. Honestly, um, I thought there's no way he makes it
Yeah.
past the second or third, and going all the way down to the fourth. Both of our teams, we were banging the table, man. Because you can never have enough physical corners like that. But what would you think is your least favorite pick?
Tanner McKee. I like him, but I mean,
Agree.
he's gonna be fine for quarterback too, you know. But
I just I don't see a need in going
they don't
quarterback
need
at all
him.
for this team. Um,
Yeah, they don't
if
need him.
anything, you're adding a Tyrod Taylor caliber guy. Money
Yeah.
obviously there's a big difference in drafting a kid and getting a 3 or 4 year
You know
contract.
who? You know who sneakily I could see fitting really good with the Eagles.
No,
And there's been rumors for about 2 or 3 weeks now, ever since even before the draft. If the Titans move on from Malik Willis, how about him backing up Jalen Hurts?
that'd be pretty cool. We both
You
like
know,
Malik Willis, man.
because the Ravens kind of do it with Tyler Huntley. You know, him and Lamar they play the same style of football. So when now Tyler Huntley's nowhere near as good as Lamar, but if Lamar goes down, you don't have to come in and change your whole game plan. You know,
Yeah, and
that's
Malik
why
Malik
if the Titans end up cutting Malik, I would like to see the Eagles sign him.
he could come in and he had a bad year last year, but he was a third round quarterback for Liberty. Not a lot of games played, not a lot of big games played. He but he's got a rocket. He's arguably has better physical traits than Jalen Hurts. But obviously the processing is more important. But getting in with that team, man, if they make a even go ahead and trade for him before they cut him. But I
I mean,
agree.
yeah, trade seventh round pick for him.
Tanner McKee's my least favorite pick as well. As even though he was my favorite steal, that's just purely no matter what team, getting him in the sixth round, I thought was pretty good value. Um, I don't know why they took him, so that's why he's our least favorite pick. Um, so let's go to who competes for a spot.
Their first 5 picks,
I agree. They're first,
everybody.
literally everybody.
I mean,
I don't think,
the only one that's even a question of if he's going to be is the tackle. But I mean, week one, your left tackle could go down, and then guess what? He's in there.
yeah, he's gonna get
It's,
snaps anyways. So if he dominates in his playing time, who knows?
their first
But
5 picks are. I love the Sidney Brown pick too.
yeah, I did too. I like Sidney Brown a lot. I mean,
78 grade in the third.
they come in starter, rotational swing tackle.
Sidney Brown is
Um,
going to be a
Sidney
starter.
Brown could start him and Ringo. They who are there? It's
Yeah, I
Bradbury
don't
and
know if both of
Slay.
those will be certified. I don't know if both of those will be certified starter day one. By next year, both of them are starting.
Well, could they move Ringo to safety because they lost Gardner Johnson? So they're down
Yeah,
a
that's
safety.
why I think Sidney Brown. I think Sidney Brown could start.
Does Slay maybe move back to that safety role? And then Ringo
I'd keep him
come
in
into that
corner.
outside corner. But they have options now. So both of these guys
Yeah.
are giving them something that they can work with. So they're both competing. At least they're gonna see the field. McKee,
Oh, they're
nah.
playing. They're playing. Yeah.
And then Morrow. I don't know much about Ojimo, but he, you know, 65 grade in the seventh round is pretty good. But
Yeah.
he's with that D line. He might not sniff the grass. So, but
Probably
their,
not.
their first 5 picks, and we're looking at this. They're 2/3, a fourth, and 2 firsts. So they just there's that's a high capital. I think four and up are,
Yeah,
fourth, you can still get some starters. Fourth, especially the third pick in the fourth round, you're looking at the range of kids that fall. So it's not like
yeah.
we're looking at these guys, they picked Ringo in the seventh round, no, they got him in the fourth. Nolan Smith, they still spent a first on him, so which means they get a fifth round, they get a fifth year option on Carter and Nolan Smith, which is huge. But agreed. I think the first five picks all
I'll
touch the
go.
field.
So I'm gonna
So
say for the rankings, this is my favorite draft in the whole NFL.
I'm giving this an A
It's an A
plus.
plus.
Yep. I
It's an
knew
A
you were gonna
plus.
say it, man. We're on the
It's
same page.
you put these guys that they drafted on the field in the Super Bowl against the
Yep.
Chiefs.
They win that game last year.
It was already a close game.
Yep. Nolan Smith gets one
It's
extra sack.
loved
Jalen
it,
Carter
bro.
gets two tackles for loss. I mean, it's a difference in the game right there. And then, I just can't believe they retained most of their defense and
The
then
only huge
added
loss
and
they
then
got,
added three
the
or
only
four starters.
huge loss they had was Gardner Johnson. Now, Ndamukong Suh, I'm pretty sure left, and who was the other D tackle? Was it Linval Joseph they signed, or was it the other dude that used to play in Seattle? They had signed
Um,
two dudes, but I think both of them they just signed for like 1 year when they was halfway through the season. But you get an immediate upgrade in Carter. He's an
yep.
immediate upgrade, and then I can do it like
And
35.
Fletcher Cox is still there, man. I mean, he's
Yeah,
still
I
he's
mean,
all he's whatever you
is
think
that
about
all
him, he's
four
been
teams?
there. Yeah. No, that's I was
We
just about
did.
we got to hit the reset button. Um, we still
Oh,
got to do
okay,
Washington, but we're
gotcha.
gonna hit the refresh button real quick, and we'll be right back. All right. So, man, this team is just they got Marcus Mariota as a backup, easily one of the best number twos in the league. They've
I
got
forgot. I forgot they got him.
and they added Rashad Penny to DeAndre Swift. They've got one of the best duos of receivers in the league. I think they're definitely struggling on the
Qu-
back end of the receiving core. Um,
Quez Watkins is a nasty third.
yeah, Quez Watkins is okay. He's fast. You need to have a burner. But their number one and number two are Devontae's pretty much a number one on some other teams. Um, then you got Goddard. They just signed Dan Arnold, which Arnold was a Panther for half a season, and then we traded him to the Jags for the CJ Henderson trade. He's a good tight end. He's a receiving threat. He's big body. He's a basketball type build, however you want to put that. But great number two tight end. Dallas Goddard's obviously one of the best tight ends of the league. Um, their O
I think he's
line,
underrated.
I think he is too. I
Goddard's
think he's
so
a top
underrated.
10 tight end. I
I think
think
he's
he's
top 10 all
a
day.
lock top 10. And then their O line is top 10 in every position, pretty much. Um,
See, if you look at the defense, they don't even have Jalen Carter as a starter.
they've, yeah, and they've got the kid they took from like Steen, they have as a backup right guard. So, and he could end up, their O line is crazy. I mean, they,
Look at their
with the
defense. Their defense is
Brandon
unbelievable.
Graham, Jordan Davis, Josh, dude, N'Kobe Dean didn't even get to play last year, dude. And he was the
Mhm.
steal of the first round last year. And Hassan, man, like Nolan Smith is a backup. What are we doing? Look at this, dude. Nolan Smith is second string on this defense, which is just you know, I
It's crazy.
uh, Terrell Edmonds, Sydney. They've already got Sidney Brown listed as a starter. Um, the safety they took, but I just man, I don't know much about Morrow. Do you know much about him?
No, not really.
Yeah, the fact that Nolan Smith is second string, Keely Ringo is now listed in third string. I, I mean, on our teams, on our rosters,
They're loaded. They're loaded on defense.
Keely Ringo on Colts and Panthers is starting immediately. So, or at least number three. This team is unreal. I can't believe they were able to keep all these guys, James Bradbury and Slay. I mean, but they just got to hope not too many of them regress. So,
Yep.
Let's move on to the next team. This is the last of this division. So let's go to Washington. Oof. And they gave him a high grade. So what's your best your favorite pick and favorite steal?
Um, I think my favorite pick and my steal are the same player.
Really?
I love KJ Henry in the fifth.
Dude, I was about to say the same thing. KJ Henry, I man, falling to the fifth round. I thought he had, and they gave him a 61, but I thought he had day two potential. He is his motor is it runs. Like I said, I watched a lot of Clemson football this year, and he showed up on tape more than Miles Murphy did. Um, and I didn't like the team. I don't like the fit for him because their D line is already so loaded. I thought he could go somewhere else and possibly start.
Yeah.
But I was hoping for the Panthers to get him. But for some reason, the Panthers never go after Clemson guys. Don't know why. But yeah, I agree. My favorite pick and biggest steal, KJ Henry for sure. My least favorite pick, man, I'm going with Forbes, dude. I something the side like it's hard for me to say because my quarterback is the smallest in the league. But I mean, the dude is 166 pounds. Uh, It's he's covering receivers that are 40 pounds heavier than him. And I know he's gonna be able to keep
Yeah.
up speed wise, and receivers and corners don't sit there and tackle each other the whole time like linemen do. But 166 pounds is tiny. He went before Deontay Banks. He went before. Let's see how that first round went in the middle. So he went at 16. They picked him over Gonzalez, man. Christian Gonzalez went pick 16 or pick 17 while Forbes went 17 or 16. So I don't know how they took him over Gonzalez at all. Gonzalez was a
Yeah, I
top
hate
10
that.
pick,
I
but
hate that. I don't
Deontay
hate Forbes
Banks,
though, but
I don't hate him, but he's where they picked him. That's my least favorite pick for sure. What about you?
I think my least favorite pick was their second pick, the safety.
Tavius
Yeah,
Martin.
Jartavius Martin. There,
Out of
there was so much talent on the
I was
board in the
just about to
second
say
round.
that, man. And he got picked 16th in the second round. I mean, they skipped Joey Porter for Forbes, man. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, they picked 16 in the second
Where
round.
is
Cam Smith was there.
Cody Mock?
Uh,
Um,
Keon White. Well, no, he got picked before. Um,
keep scrolling down.
John Michael Schmitz.
John
They need
Michael
O
Smith,
line. They need
Osiris
tight end.
Torrance,
There was a
DJ
lot.
Turner. I like
Yeah,
DJ Turner quite a bit.
there was a lot of talent right there, and they ended up going with a safety, which I mean, if you're gonna go for a safety, why not trade up two picks and go get Branch? But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I can agree. That's probably my least favorite pick as well. Um, but let me pull up their roster. Let's see. NFL. Let's see. Where's Washington? There they are. Depth chart.
Give us those
Uh,
free draft picks for luck, baby. Give them to us.
well, their offense is looking solid. If Sam, we love Sam Howell.
You
Who
hold on. Little 2 minute intervention. Don't give us a draft picks. They're just gonna have to give us Terry McLaurin. He's from Indy. He's always been a Colts fan. Just give him to us, and we'll call it even.
Ugh. So what's so what picks did you get from them?
No, we haven't. But when the investigation see that Washington called Andrew Luck to see if he wanted to come out of
You're
retirement,
talking about the tampering.
they're gonna have to fork over for Terry McLaurin to us.
Are they gonna? They don't owe y'all anything, do they?
Well, it just happened with Philly and Arizona, and uh, Arizona had to give Philly a third round pick in this year's draft.
Yeah.
But
Oof.
we'll just take Terry McLaurin off their hands.
Yeah.
Or
Well.
Or if they're not going to pick up Chase Young's fifth year option, just give him to us. We'll take him.
Yeah. I love McLaurin, dude. McLaurin's nice. If he was on a better
I do too.
team, he's a wide receiver. He's kind of had the DJ Moore syndrome. No quarterback. Um, but he's still putting up 1,000 yards and scoring touchdowns. So, but man, Sam Howell ends up being the guy. This team looks fun.
This may be it's between this and the AFC West for the two hardest divisions in the league. Or I don't know. AFC East is really hard too.
Yeah.
Nah, this is probably third. I'll probably go AFC East, AFC West, and then
But
NFC East.
we'll save going
But
over
I
the
do think it's a tough
rosters.
division.
We'll save going over the rosters and the divisions for another video once we
Right
start
before the
talking about
season starts.
preseason. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just looking at this, KJ Henry they have listed as a third string. I guess he was picked in the fifth round, so it is what it is. I think
Yeah.
he could easily compete for be the fifth guy on the D line. I think he could play tackle and edge. They play a 4-3, so I think they'll be able to move him all over. But they already have Forbes listed as a starter. But this team could surprise a lot of people. If Sam Howell ends up being the guy, this is going to be a fun team to watch. But yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
is there a scenario where Dallas finishes fourth in the division?
Where Dallas finishes fourth,
Mm-hmm.
uh, definitely. We got to
I think
see.
the Eagle I think the Eagles got one locked up.
Yeah,
I think two is
Giants or
I think most
Cowboys.
likely the Giants. I think it's most likely the Giants, honestly. And then
It's
what if Sam Howell's good?
if Sam
Washington has
Howell's
a great defense.
they have a great team. They've got Jahan Dotson,
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel, and Terry McLaurin. That is a huge trio, dude. If Jahan Johnson
I
can
mean,
take the jump, he had a good year last
they got
year.
some good running backs. They got some good running backs too.
Yeah, Brian Robinson and is McKinnon still
Who's the
there?
other guy? No, no,
Antonio
that's
Gibson.
Anton Gibson.
Antonio
Yeah.
Gibson, dude.
That
I
dude, their
mean,
team.
did they take him in the first round? Did they take Antonio Gibson in the first round a
I
couple
feel
years
like he
ago?
was second. I feel like he was second round.
Let's see. Third round. They actually got him in the third.
Third.
But yeah, that's gonna be they have one of the better rosters in that
And
division. Um,
it all depends on Sam Howell.
yeah,
Sam
all
Howell
depends on
blew
Sam
Dallas
Howell.
out in the last game of the season. Blew
Well,
him out.
we're gonna get to see if Sam. You might have to be getting a Sam Howell jersey here soon, dude. Because dude, I'm pulling for Washington hard. Um,
I think
just for Sammy Boy. But
I think Dallas could
what's your so
best team in the league.
we agreed that our favorite pick and biggest steal was Henry. You didn't like the safety. I didn't either. I didn't like Forbes very much where he got picked over Christian Gonzalez. Um, but who competes for a spot, you think?
Mm, I think just Forbes.
I think Forbes and Henry. I think Henry can't compete for a spot. Forbes because they kind of where they
Uh,
picked him, he has
I think
to.
Henry. I think Henry's going to be great depth. I don't know if he competes for a spot really.
Well, I guess I'm considering a third D tackle, just like a backup running back. I'm considering a number two running back and a number three D end. I'm considering them, worth mentioning as a spot because they're going to be playing 40% of
Yeah,
snaps. So when I say Henry compete for a spot, that's what I mean. Definitely not a starter. He's not better than Sweat and he's not better than Chase Young. So, well, right now, who knows what he is, by the end of the year. But I think we're on the same page there. How much better does this draft make the team? I'm going to say not very much.
not a not a ton.
The
Yeah.
guard's not going to start. The center's not going to start. The safety, they've got good safety. So, maybe he could. Forbes, I think, because of where he's picked, has to. But overall, and they got some depth everywhere, which can't go wrong with it. You got to have depth everywhere. Um, the 49ers, the 49ers proved that without depth, it's not going to take you very far. But what's your overall grade?
I really hated this draft to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
like the direction Washington's going in. But I mean, I think this is a D plus.
Henry is the only thing that saved it for me. Um, there's not many that I don't think I have any D's because most drafts make teams better. I'm gonna give this one a C minus, so I'm right there with you. But KJ Henry's the only thing that saved it from it not being a D. If they would have took a no name there at five in the fifth round with over Henry, um, it probably would have been closer to a D. But I'm gonna give this one a C minus. So definitely one of my least favorite drafts for sure. But
You know,
um, so I mean, yeah, man, that's the NFC. That division's gonna be.
this division is going to be interesting to watch next year.
Yeah, well, I'm excited once we finish these draft videos to get into the preseason rankings, the quarterback rankings, position rankings, and go division by division and talk about or we could do
We should
conference
just
by
have
conference.
we should just have two more videos on draft recap
Yeah,
after
we're
this.
gonna for the next ones
We
we're
still
gonna
have to
think
do.
try to do two
We'll do
divisions per
two.
video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we can we'll roll
so
through it a
the
little
only
bit
ones we
quicker.
have left. The only ones we have left are the AFC and NFC South, and the
Yep,
AFC and NFC North.
yep. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. We that's So yeah, so we finished the NFC, AFC South, NFC, AFC East, and then we'll get the next four in the next couple of videos. Uh, well, we appreciate you guys watching. If anybody made it this far, and we'll see you next time. Peace.